In the early 1900s, tuberculosis, often called consumption, was a deadly disease sweeping through communities. In response, a group of pioneers banded together to create the Canadian Association for the Prevention of Consumption and Other Forms of Tuberculosis. Their mission was to combat tuberculosis and educate the public on prevention. It was a time when medical advancements were slow, and treatments often required isolation in sanatoriums. In 1908, a small idea was born that would help fund this monumental fight, the Christmas seal. Introduced as a way to raise money for tuberculosis care, the seals were sold during the holiday season. What started as a modest fundraising effort grew into a national movement, raising awareness and crucial funds for tuberculosis prevention across Canada. By the early 1910s, the organization had gained traction, providing support to tuberculosis patients and pushing forward with public health initiatives. These efforts laid the foundation for what would become Alberta's leading voice in lung health. In 1939, as the Wizard of Oz captivated audiences, Alberta Lung took its first breath as the Alberta Tuberculosis Association. With the world at war, they began their fight by raising $14,000 through Christmas seal sales. That year, Alberta also saw its first mobile chest X-ray unit hit the road, scanning Albertans for tuberculosis. As the war continued and rationing shaped everyday life, Alberta Lung pushed forward, launching a second, more efficient mobile X-ray unit. These units weren't just detecting tuberculosis. They were helping identify other life-threatening conditions like cancer and heart disease. By the 1960s, society was shifting. People were talking about space exploration, and the Beatles were making history. But Alberta Lung was focusing on new challenges: air pollution and smoking. They rebranded as the Alberta Tuberculosis and Respiratory Disease Association, addressing more than just TB, now tackling smoking, lung cancer, and more. The 1970s were a time for change. Alberta Lung helped form grassroots groups dedicated to restoring clean air, working on smoking prevention, and launching national campaigns like Lungs Are for Life. In the 1980s, as Pac-Man was the craze and MTV took over, Alberta Lung was busy expanding its mission. They launched asthma clinics, worked on health education kits, and even introduced the lung game to schools. By the 1990s, lung health awareness was more important than ever. While people were tuning in to watch Friends and getting hooked on the internet, Alberta Lung was busy advocating for cleaner air and better health care. Today, Alberta Lung continues to raise awareness, fund research, and build healthier communities. From tackling wildfire smoke to helping children with asthma, they've been a breath of fresh air for 85 years. As Alberta Lung celebrates 85 incredible years, they're taking their biggest step yet with Breathing Space, Canada's first lung transplant recovery home. This home will provide comfort, care, and hope for those affected by lung disease. From holiday seals in the 1930s to a future filled with hope, Alberta Lung has been with us every breath of the way. Here's to the next 85 years.